Hi, my name is Husnara Begum, and I'm the Associate Editor at CheekyLittleCareers.com. Welcome to this, a first in a series of video blogs that I'm recording alongside my new mentee, Robert Green. I'll tell you a bit more about Robert in a moment. The series of videos is all about impressing on vacation schemes, which I know some of you have schemes coming up in the spring, and then of course some of you will have schemes coming up in the summer, like Robert, who has got 3 coming up. So Robert's really interesting because he was a journalist and is now on the GDL and aspiring to become a solicitor, which is completely the opposite of what I did, which was going from law to journalism. And I think that's what really sort of drew me in Robert's direction. So really happy to be sort of supporting him in his endeavours to pursue a career as a lawyer. Have I missed anything about you, Robert?
No, I think that's a lovely summation. And yes, as you said, it's a very interesting paradox in some ways that we're going in opposite ways, but able to help each other hopefully on the way. So yeah, I'm really excited to glean as much information and top tips from you about vacation schemes.
What do you want to know?
Well, I guess the first thing is about looking the part. And I've gone to some effort today to try to present myself as I hope in the most professional and putting my best step forward, really. So I'd love to get your opinion on how I look and what I need to do to improve. So I guess firstly, the big thing is my hair. That's definitely something I'm always kind of worried about, whether I've gone too Jedward or whether it's, essentially appropriate for the workplace. I don't know what your feelings are on my hair.
Sorry, the reason I'm smiling isn't because of your hair. It's just that, I'm very much your middle-aged aunt. So it's really flattering that you're asking me about how to look the part on vacation schemes. Look, joking aside, I think that it's all about being authentic and feeling comfortable in your own skin. I think, frankly, if your hair defines you and it's part of you, then why not? I don't find it overly offensive. And I know there's been a real push. One Magic Circle firm, in fact, my old firm, Linklaters, have recently announced how they are, really open to lawyers at the firm, in fact, all staff at their firm with afro hair to wear it with pride. And I think that's really important. So, yeah, I think that it wouldn't suit me, but it looks great on you, and I think you should go for it.
Great. Well, that's definitely reassuring because, as you know, in lockdown, it's not that easy to style your hair or get to a hairdresser. So I don't have to worry about that. The other thing, I guess, is just about what to wear. And obviously, we are all going to be doing these schemes virtually. I don't know how formal we should go, whether what you think I'm wearing today is too formal, not formal enough, whether it's corporate enough. I was probably a bit bold in my color choices. So yeah, I would love to know what you think I should be wearing and what colors I should be wearing as well.
Sure. Well, look, I personally think you look quite dapper. But again, I think that for anyone watching this, you can never feel overdressed for a vacation scheme. I think it's better to go for conservative and perhaps a little bit boring. So avoiding the sort of loud colours. And, for women, for example, wearing a blazer like I've done, or you could wear a smart jumper, but I don't want to see frills and big bows, thank you very much. For you, I'll be brutally honest, I'm not keen on the white blazer. I think for guys, you can never go wrong with navy blue or dark grey. So if you have got that, do you want to give
I
me?
do actually, yeah. I was going to say, I do have. That's funny because I did actually contemplate wearing a blue blazer today. So I actually have a blue blazer, but I can put on instead.
Sure, why don't you go for it? And
Yeah.
I'll share some tips on other comments with regard to how to dress. Look, I think that for me, smart is better than looking messy. And I certainly would say a big fat no-no to hooded tops, because how you present yourself, I think really in the same way that you would wear a uniform for school, there isn't a uniform in the city, which is to look smart and presentable, because fundamentally law is very much part of the services sector. So it's professional services and your clients would expect a certain dress sense. But look, I think for day one, yeah, perfect. That looks brilliant. So I think day one, definitely go conservative, traditional, and smart. But then play it by ear, see what everyone else is wearing on video calls, and you may find that as the week sort of progresses, that you can relax a bit and ditch the tie, for example, then the blazer, and take it from there. With regard to what you should be wearing on your bottom half, I think be mindful of the fact that you might suddenly stand up because you need to plug your laptop in, or you've left your glass of water at the other side of the room. So although you don't need to wear suit trousers, just think, if I did stand up, am I going to expose parts of my body that no one else should be seeing, frankly?
What about in terms of like dress down days? Because I know some firms or some companies do sort of a dress down Friday or a casual Wednesday. What would be your suggestion in terms of what to wear to those events? Because I'm assuming most vacation schemers won't have been in a law firm before, so won't really know what's appropriate. Would you err on the side of caution, Jill?
Look, I've been now doing video calls with law firms for nearly, well, over a year, frankly, and everyone is looking rather casual. Okay, some people more so than others. So with regard to, I think the barometer has shifted. I think everything is more casual, but in terms of dress down, you may find that firstly it's been ditched because it's dressed down all the time, so it might be a bit of an outdated idea anyway. I think that hooded tops perhaps leave to one side. You could go for a jumper, again with not massive logos, or go for a polo shirt with a cardigan. Okay, and again for women, I think women get away dressing a little bit more casually than they used to in the city anyway. So again, it's more about avoiding massive logos, garish prints, or as I said, frills and bows, which I think can be a bit of a distraction.
Okay. And what about makeup? I mean, it's not something that will be a concern of me, but I'm sure some people who are watching would have questions about makeup, whether extensions, whether nails, eyelashes, any lip colors they should or shouldn't be able to wear. What would be your kind of advice in terms of makeup?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that because, frankly, I don't, leave the house without my makeup on. Not that I'm leaving the house at the moment, but doing a video call is the equivalent. So I think, for me, I wear makeup all the time anyway, and I have been guilty of going to bed with it sometimes, which is really naughty, I know. But the main thing is that what you're trying to do is create a positive first impression. So even if that means whacking on a bit of foundation powder and cream just to give your complexion a bit more of a glow. With regard to fake stuff, again, I am middle-aged, and I worry about things like long fingernails and eyebrows. So I do think that you do need to have that uniform, and I would say go on the side of caution. So keep the fake eyelashes and the nails for your weekends out when we're allowed to go clubbing again. But for the time being, keep it low key. And if you're feeling experimental, then why not have a go at some of the virtual sort of filters that you can get? I know Zoom allows you to play around with lipstick color, which actually, can I say, does work quite well. That said, I'm not using it at the moment. These are my
I was going to ask.
You can also give yourself eyebrows, which I don't think suit me. But look, this is serious stuff, okay? The whole point of doing a vacation scheme is to secure a training contract at the end of it, which you then can choose to turn down if you get a better offer. So yeah, I think that, I know with that sound like a broken record, but be sensible, be cautious.
What about the background? So, the lighting, the walls, the posters, because I know I'm fortunate, I'm in a relatively quiet space, but I know lots of people will be sharing with other people, or they won't have a space where they can, do their calls, and they have to do it in their bedroom. What would
Yeah.
be your top tips for making sure that the space you're in doesn't distract essentially from you?
That's a really good point. Firstly, I want to reassure everyone watching this video that law firms aren't silly. They know that this has been a really difficult time for everyone, and not everyone has the luxury of having a dedicated home office, and certainly not for people in your demographics. So don't feel awkward or embarrassed about where you're living or staying, first and foremost. Okay. Secondly, the top tip here really is about cleanliness and being tidy. Okay, so if you are having to use your kitchen or lounge or even your bedroom as your office, then make your bed up. It really is as simple as that. Put your dirty washing up away. And with regard to the third point is with regard to what's behind you, I think if you can, again, put clutter away, just be mindful of any inappropriate posters or photos, or if you've got a display of beer bottles, then perhaps not the best image that you want to portray. And think also about what your background does to your colouring, because I've seen quite a lot of people looking a bit sort of washed out,
Mm.
and it's absolutely fine. But if you're trying to make a positive first impression, no matter how much we like to think that everyone is not as shallow or superficial as I am, I think people do form an opinion based on your appearance.
Yeah.
Whether that's right or wrong is not up for discussion. The main thing is that you've got to make, absolutely attempt to create that positive first impression.
What about virtual backgrounds? Because I know that some of the apps allow you to do a virtual background. What are your feelings about them?
Sure, really good point. Thank you for that, Robert. Yeah, the main apps or platforms that law firms were using for their schemes or for video conferencing facilities for sure will be Teams, WebEx, and Zoom. I find the Teams background selection really easy to use. It's really intuitive and can be really effective for anyone who does feel a bit conscious about their sort of scenery behind them. Zoom can be a bit blurred. I've not tried it on WebEx, so thank you for mentioning that because I think that is a good solution for people who are a bit conscious.
If you were to give one top tip on, how to look the part, what would it be?
It's not so much a top one tip, it's three tips. It's light, camera, action. Okay. So, number one, think about the lighting in the room. Thankfully, the days are getting longer, and when you do your skin, because yours are in the summer, it will be a lot lighter. So, you'll find that more natural light comes in, and it won't be necessary, for example, to invest in one of those ring lights, which a few people have bought, because then it adds that extra sort of glow to your face. Okay, so that's the lighting. And secondly, the sort of in terms of your camera, think about how far away you're going to sit from your camera and what the height is. Because what you don't want to do is be like this, where you're so close. Because no one wants to see down your top. No one wants to see up your nostril. Because frankly, the only thing that you should be putting up your nostril at the moment is a COVID test kit, right? Similarly, if you are further away, far enough away from your camera, that brings me on to the action point, which is, be mindful of body language and where your eye contact is. So although it feels a bit unnatural, look at the camera rather than the people in the gallery, because then your eyes will go like this. I've got a bit of a stiff neck, so I'm always going, right, not a good look. And you'll also find that if you're sat further away enough from the camera, then you can use your sort of hands and a bit of body language to emphasize a point to make, for dramatic effect. That said, don't do what I do sometimes, which is have my hands right up against the screen like that, and I scare the people off with my wonky fingers.
That's really, really good and easy to remember, lights, camera, action. So something that I definitely would take away. Thank you so much. I hope now on my first day, I definitely will be wearing this blue blazer, that's for sure, not my white blazer. And yeah, I feel like a lot more prepared, just to look in the part. So I'm looking forward to our next videos when we discuss how to network.
Thank you very much. I look forward to catching up with you then as well. Thank you, Robert.